shoot that shit!
No, Mike. I made a promise to God. No more violence.
That is God's gun!
It is.
Sent to you in your time of need!
Well, shit, I do need it right now.
Yes, you are a vessel for the Lord's work!
You know what? Bad boys of the Bible, baby.
Exactly! Amen!
Amen.
Amen!
Amen.
What's good, everybody? I'm Winston A, Marshall, aka the Swaggy Blerd, and this is my rewatch and discussion of Bad Boys for Life. For those of you that are new to the channel, please be sure to hit that subscribe button, man. Hit the notification bell, and be sure, once this is all done, leave a comment and let me know what you think about the film and about this discussion. It helps the algorithm and whatnot. And check out some of the other content I have on here. I do plenty of reviews and discussions. I do some pop culture talk. I do some comedy, all that, man. So check out all the stuff that I got here on this page. Now, as I jump into this, as you know, it's a rewatch, so we're just gonna kind of talk about everything, go through the plot super quick. Marcus and Mike are in the situation where they're getting older, about ready to kind of wrap it up, or at least Marcus is kind of ready to be out the game. Mike wants to do this forever. He really is kind of rejecting the idea of getting old, and you end up in a situation where there's an assassination attempt placed on him. He's shot a bunch of times. Now Mike is on a tear to try and figure out who was trying to kill him. Marcus resigns to no longer committing violence. He makes a pact with God that he won't commit any more violence if God will spare Mike's life. So you get this really interesting dynamic that as Mike is getting further into this investigation, he needs Marcus with him in order to try and solve what is going on. And Marcus is just like, I'm not gonna kill nobody, I'm not gonna shoot nobody, I'm not gonna do nothing.
Damn it, Mike. I need to tell you something.
What?
I told the Lord that if you made it through, that I would make no more violence.
Well, he definitely knew you was bullshitting with that. Violence is what we do.
All that being said, you end up with a very interesting story where you find out that not only was Mike a undercover agent, and that he and a bunch of other people that were working against the cartel at one point are all being offed left and right. You find out ultimately that Mike, when he was in that state, ended up with one of the women that was working in the cartel, and she's actually a bruja, she's a witch, and he ended up siring a kid that the assassin that's out to kill him and all these other people that were involved in this case against the cartel is actually his son with said bruja.
I was her driver. We talked about everything. She showed me the whole game. Isabel gave birth in prison 8 months after her arrest. Nah, Marcus, he's the right age. He's crazy like me. He's ruthless like me. He's fearless like me. He's the fucked up me.
And so you have a very interesting father-son dynamic about Will not being there, but he didn't know that he had a son in the first place, and that a lot of that impulsiveness and a lot of that violence that Mike Lowry has is now in his son. And then trying to come to terms with that and what that means, and is he gonna put his own son down, or try and save him and all that. Ultimately, you get an epic fight down in Mexico.
You were right about the glasses.
I've been telling your ass that shit for years! Transition!
And you end up seeing Mike ultimately not kill his son, but convince his son what was going on, and that his mother was the one that was actually the evil one.
Shit.
And he gets arrested, and he sees the error of his ways, and then we get the teaser of him be like, hey, you need to pay penance, would you like to do some stuff to try and help with it? And so you kind of set up for what will ultimately be Bad Boys Ride or Die, and the two of them working together, or at least that's what's implied from the trailers and from this post-cut scene, so we'll see what happens. All that being said, I've got to say that this might actually be the best Bad Boys film of the three. I've fluctuated back and forth where I was saying, well, it's two, one's maybe the most grounded, but if we're talking about comedy, action, and just balance of story, of the first three, this actually feels the most put together. 2 is definitely the most quotable.
I'm still flaccid.
Okay. This is our little boundary box. So we're gonna take the word flaccid and we're gonna put it in there with my mom's titties, with your erection problems, and we're gonna close this box and we're gonna throw this bitch in the ocean.
I think that that's notwithstanding, and I think probably the funniest as well. When you look at it, just Will and Martin were in their bag. They really were playing off of each other exceptionally well. They had fully hitting their stride in what they were in their careers. So I think 2 is definitely the funniest. But 3, Bad Boys for Life, is very, very funny in and of itself. Like, it is hysterical, but it's also probably the best plot, the best twists, the best action, the best thematically about actually talking about things. I don't think that there was any sort of exploration of theme or what any of this means in the first 2. If I'm thinking about it, it's just an action buddy cop whatever. Well, this took that and it started this conversation about, you're not invincible, you don't live forever, things change, and the fact that Marcus is more willing to do that but Mike won't, and this further idea that Mike kind of lives in this fantasy land. You know, Mike, again, being the playboy, having the money, has always lived in this fantasy land.
She just wasn't the one for me.
What is for you, Mike? Dying all alone and sad as shit?
Whereas Marcus, he's always been the more down-to-earth, the more blue-collar. He's the one with the family and the kids and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, it feels like this movie actually tried to say something, which, to me, the best movies will entertain you to no end, but will genuinely make you think about stuff, will make you ponder on things, will make you examine the things that you're feeling and go, oh, okay, yeah, that is something I need to keep an eye out, and all that kind of stuff, man. So, you know, it was very interesting knowing that on top of that, they came in with a small budget too of only 90 mil, and they did, it looks like $426.5 million off of this. And for a while, this was actually the best performing movie of 2020. Obviously the pandemic hit, and so the movie theater shut down. I think it still ended in the top 10, if not the top 5, by the time it was all said and done. But it's not just because of the pandemic. This was a very, very good movie, and enough that it spawned them to be able to do another one. And I gotta give credit to these directors, Adil and Bel-Air. If I mispronounced that, I am very, very sorry. They really know what they're doing, and I really enjoy seeing that. And I gotta believe, you know, I'm excited to see what they do with Bad Boys Ride or Die. But you gotta believe that Batgirl film could not have been as bad as Warner Brothers is trying to put out to say. I don't believe that. I really don't, because they really made such a solid film here. And from what I'm hearing about, you know, from the people that I know that have already gone to the earlier screenings of Bad Boy Ride or Die, it sounds like they did a pretty good job there too, both with the action and with the storytelling and whatnot. So all that being said, man, if I had to rate this one, I'd probably give this, well, let me think about this. So 2, I want to say I gave like a 4.7 or something like that. I would give this about the same. I'd give this a 4 point. Whatever I gave it on 2, go back and watch the tape. I will give the same rating for this one. If anything, you might pull back to just a little bit. Again, I think I enjoy 2 the most. It made me laugh the most. It has the most nostalgia. You'll never really forget, you know, Shake Your Tail Feather. Despite everything Diddy is trying to do to make us forget all of that, now that we know that he's a criminal mastermind himself and was actually playing the role of Johnny Tapia the entirety of his career. But it was just an iconic moment in pop culture. So I think 2, while not as good of a movie and you pull it down a little bit on its rating, it has that iconic symbolism of it. But if you're just talking about a solid movie from comedy, action, plot, thematic, all that, this one takes a little bit of the cake. So if I said 4.7 on that, let's give this a 4.8. We'll do that, okay? But again, I want to know what you think. Go down in the comments and tell me, do you rock with Bad Boys for Life? Are you into this film? Did you not like the new direction that it was going in? Let me know. Also, are you excited for Ride or Die? What are you thinking? Please be sure to check out my Ride or Die at, let's see. there'll be an out of the theater reaction when I see the film. I'll do a review, and then I'll ultimately do a video of all 4 films, me doing a spoiler review of Ride or Die. Will include a ranking of all 4 and what I feel about them, so check that out as well. And again, if you haven't, hit the subscribe button, man. Hit the notification bell so you know when I put stuff out. Please like this video, share, leave a comment, all that good stuff. It helps with the algorithm, and we're trying to continue to build this out. So with that, y'all, I'm gonna get up out of here, and always remember, we ride together, we die together. Bad boys for life. Peace.